Hello everyone, next steps now are getting these foundation tubes into the ground and getting them all set at the right depth, all nice and square and ready. Then once they're done, then they're ready to accept the hoops. So we're going to crack on with that today. So I've started getting these foundation tubes into the ground. These are now dug in and they've got the anchor plates on the bottom. And this is the one I'm going to concentrate on next, and I'll take you through the whole process of getting this in the ground and how I measure it and how I check it for level and square and everything. Now with foundation tubes there are various options you can go for, even from first tunnels, so this is not their standard option but it's just one of them. And with many of the companies that are out there, they've all got the different options. One of them is you can, if you wish, just put a block of wood straight on top of that and just hammer it down until it's at the correct height. That's one option. The other one they have is like a screw option. So it'll have an attachment on the bottom which you just basically screw into the ground, and you'll put a bar through a hole in this tube and turn it round and it will screw down into the ground rather than knocking it. But the other option is the one I'm going for on this one, and it's what they call an anchor plate. Your tube will go through this, and this actually sits within the ground, so it's got the soil weighted on top, so makes it difficult for the wind to rip the whole tunnel up. And then you have these clamps. These are exhaust clamps, so called because they've actually originated from the automotive industry, and you put one of these on either side and screw it up to hold that in place onto your tube. And I say my other two tunnels I've got this same setup because we're on quite a windy site here, so that just gives it the strength and rigidity and the resistance to the wind from being blown up. And I have seen that. There's a plot down there, I think I've mentioned it many times on the videos, where they had one of the old blow-away tunnels. The wind caught it, and about half a mile that way there's a main road, and they found the tunnel the other side of the main road. Cross a river, cross two farmers' fields, cross a main road. So that's the setup we're going for here. So what I need to do with this, rather than just hammer it or screw it into the ground, is I've got to dig a hole so that this will actually sit underneath the soil. So we'll crack on with that now. Now a quick tip here, once you've got your hole dug, if you put your spade in at the edge and then from each edge drag it across, you're actually creating a flat bottom to your hole, which will then receive your anchor plate nicely. And I used a trowel there just to excavate that last little bit, but that helps with flattening the bottom of your hole so it accepts your anchor plate. So having set out everything to a string line down here, I've now got a straight edge bit of timber showing the other tubes there where I've already set the height, and this was the original one that I first set. So I can get that distance there, and then it's just simply 5 foot centres to get the distance between there, and I've just lightly pressed that into the ground for now. What I need to do now is set the height that the tube is in the ground. I've got another straight edge bit of timber and a spirit level, and I just want to push that into the ground until we're level, which is there. So we're now bang on in between where it should be. The right distance is 5 foot, and we're now at the right level, and we've got a flat bottom to the hole. Now we can remove that stuff out of the way and get this gear together. So what I'm going to do is I'll put one clamp over, roughly tighten it up, and then I'm just going to push it down to the bottom of the hole, and I'll get the camera in now so you can see that. So the bracket's right down the bottom of the hole now. What I want to do is just pull the tube out about 1/2 inch, just so I've got access to these bolts and I can tighten this up. Do hand tight first. And then just tighten them up. Hopefully you can see that and I'm not too much in the way. And then just gently pop that back in. Put my anchor plate over the top. And then put my next clamp on, finger tight on those. And then just tighten. I'm conscious that my head might be in the way. If it is, I apologise. There we go. And that's that assembly done. Now I just backfill the hole and that job is finished. So that's that tube now in. You can just about see it there above the surface. It's all nicely lined up with the other ones and it's set at the right height, and I've just got those over there to do, which is a job for tomorrow morning now. Finish these off and then we can start setting the hoops up. So I started with this point here. This was my initial start point. There's 5 foundation tubes here, this one's in the middle. I got this one to the right height that I wanted for the soil around it, leveled the 2 posts that way from that one, the 2 posts that way from that one, and now on the post across there, and I'm now going to level this across to there, and then from there I can do the 2 posts that way and the 2 posts that way to get everything nice and level. And what I'll also do is when I've done the 2 posts either side of that central one, I will level across diagonally, and if it will, which I don't think it will, I will try and do those corners from there as well, just to double check everything is at the right level. But leveling it is just a simple case of putting a board on top, and I know because I've already checked this, putting the level on it, that's level across, so I can now move on. I can stamp this soil down, it's only in loose, I can stamp this soil down and then we can carry on with this side. So on the next video I'll get these hoops put together, I'll get them done over there at the front of the plot, get them all put on, get this cage all put up together, this frame, sorry, not cage, get all this all put up together and all the stabilizers and stuff on, and then that will be ready then. And then all we'll have to wait for after that is a warm day to put the plastic on. So we're looking good. We've done the majority of the work now. The frame goes up quite quickly, so I should be able to get all that into one video with all the explanations. But for now, that's it. Look after yourselves, everyone. Please stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.